The first real big song that we got played all over the country was There's Something About That Name, and that was mainly because of Danny's beautiful tenor singing, and we still have people today who ask about Danny and why isn't he singing, and we tried to tell him. Right now he's limited, but he's coming back. He's getting better, and here again I think he's a little tough on himself. When we were younger, we abused our kids, like many of you do, and had them to sing every night, especially if the audience was tough. If nothing else worked, bring out Amy. We always have the same little banter between us. I'd say, Amy, who is your favorite daddy in all the whole wide world? And she says, you are daddy. Who's your favorite piano player in all the world? You are daddy. Said, who's your favorite songwriter in all the world? You are daddy. Who's your favorite singer in all the world? Uncle Danny is daddy. But it's always the same thing. It's fun. But we wrote this song for kids to sing along. I am a promise. I am a possibility. I am a promise. With a capital P. And I am learning to hear God's voice, and I am trying to make the right choices. I'm a promise to be anything He wants me. I'm a promise to be anything He wants me. I'm a promise to be anything He wants me to be.
Bill ran interference for both of us kids. I remember when I went to high school, it was that way. Bill, he got me in the high school concertina variety. I was in 8th grade, and they needed somebody to sing. And Bill said, I know somebody. And they said, who? And they said, my brother. Well, I was in grade school, and it was a high school program. He got us in that one.
The first lead singer that we ever had was this good man right here. And you want to say anything? No, okay.
Place too full.
And he's been through it, but thanks to folks like Hovey, who has been through the same thing. How many times have you regrown that hair, Hovey? 3 different times. And the hats are so nice that but I think it's saying to a lot of folks who are listening that God is in it all. And this last time that he went through stem cell transplant in Omaha, the doctors feel very good about it. And once he gets his strength back, he's going to sing with us again. But right now he can't sing. All he can do.
I think most of you know that family groups sometimes work, and sometimes they don't. And it's one thing to go out on stage, and all of you husband-wife teams know what it feels like to go out after you've had a fight. But I just want you to know that I never had a brother growing up. I have a sister. But Danny has been a brother to me from the beginning. And I don't think we've ever had a crossword that I remember making. Maybe he can think of some. But I treasure this man. And he's not just a brother to Bill. He's been a brother to me, singing or not. And he's really dear to my heart. And he is the easiest person in the wide world to get along with. And I'm not, but he is.
What's it like going from my perspective as a young boy growing up in Texas and hearing the Gaither Trio and no one having crowds like y'all had, and no one in my mind being able to sing quite like you could when you'd sing It Is Well With My Soul and it just would float across the auditorium. And I remember as a little kid getting chills. To go from that to driving the bus, what is that like?
That, now that's not a struggle now at all. When I started having voice problems and I knew I couldn't sing anymore, that was a real problem for me that I had to work through. And I worked through it by just getting involved with a bunch of things. And now driving the bus is very important.
It is
very, very important. And I realized that I can do that better than anybody else can. And I realize it's very important what I do. And so therefore, although I still miss singing, and that, because that's a very important part of my life.
Danny had one of the most incredible voices, but there was a whole lot, always more to Danny than a voice.
Plus, we're still believing his voice is going to come back. Maybe not at that level where you were slam dunking, but at a level. And we've got...
If you get your voice back, I'll sing again.
Wouldn't that be something? How are you doing? What is the prognosis? I mean, what have you learned through all that?
When I first was diagnosed, be 3 years in Thanksgiving, and we went through one treatment of chemicals, and then we went through the first bone marrow. And I remember we were in Atlanta, Georgia, and Janet Pascal came up to me and asked me the same question: "What's the prognosis?" And at that time, the prognosis was it's gone. And she said, "Well, how are you doing?" And I said, "I'm really doing well." I said, I wouldn't want anybody to have to go through what I've gone through, but I really feel that I'm much richer for what I've gone through. And Janet said, you mean you came a lot way with a lot of stuff? And I said, yeah, but I think more important is I left a lot of stuff.